Hello and welcome to another macro video, number 70 I believe. This macro is one that grew out of the job I'm just about to start, where the client asked me to identify specific areas of duplication, and I thought, well, could macro help? And I remembered the duplicate sentence count macro that I had done before and tried to apply it to this job, but unfortunately the document is 61,000 words, and the original version of this macro worked fine on small documents, but because it compared every sentence with every other sentence, then if you double the number of sentences, you've got to compare double the number of sentences with double the number of other sentences. So in other words, you get 4 times the runtime. So by the time you get up to 61,000 words, then it was going to take days to run and was just not worth bothering with. So I had to rejig the whole idea of the way the macro worked. I'll spare you the details, but suffice to say that it was a case of comparing all the sentences beginning with A with all the others that started with A, and those with starting with B and those with B. So to actually run the macro, I would advise very strongly that before you start you run the copy text with some features, because that macro will get all the text out of your document, including all the text that's in footnotes and endnotes and all that's in any text boxes. And this job has a number of text boxes, which is why I found it particularly useful. So we run that first, and then we run the duplicate sentence count, and then we're going to use Fredit to highlight those duplicated sentences in the original document. So let's give it a go. Let's move that out of the way, and we want to open a dummy book that we've got here. This is our book. So first thing we do, as I say, is to run the copy text with some features. So we run that. It runs very quickly because it's only a small document, but didn't want to waste time you sitting waiting for it to happen. So at the top there it's told me that it's got 4 text boxes in this document, and when it comes to comparing sentences, we're not interested in the headings, which would be duplicated, and the figure and table headings, captions, would also come up as duplicate sentences. So let's get rid of those. Remember, this is only a copy. There we go. In fact, the headings are less of a problem because the macro will you can set a limit as to how many words it compares. In other words, it would not compare short sentences in inverted commas, like tagging your documents and applying this and that. So you set the minimum number of words. So what have we done? We've got a copy of the original, and so we now run the macro that we were talking about, the duplicate sentence count, which is there. So I run that. So it's going through the A's and the B's and the C's. Well, again, it didn't take long. So what have we got? So we've got here, oops, go away, a list there of, it's found 5 sentences that are duplicated, most of them twice there and one of them 3 times, and so that you can have a look at those and see if those are any significance. So let's move that out of the way. Also there it's produced this, which is a Fredit list. You may recognize, if you use Fredit, the caret ampersand there, meaning replace with that which you have found. So it's replacing all that text with the same thing, but highlighted at the same time. The macro puts them all green. If you want to play around and make it easier to see, you could perhaps change the colours of the different sentences. This one, as you'll see, it's actually one long sentence which has been split into 2, And the reason it does that is because words find and replace can only handle find and replace of text of less than 255 characters. So in other words, if any sentences are more than that, then the macro splits them in half so that it does it as 2 find and replaces. Let's change the colour of that one. You don't have to use highlighting. You can use font colours. So if we take the highlight off and put a font colour on, just to illustrate the fact. If we run Fredit now, it'll get confused because it's got this is your Fredit list, but this document here has also got that vertical bar there, so it'll think that's also a Fredit list. So let's we finish with that one now. Could save it if you wanted to, but I'm just going to kill it. Don't save. Here's my original text, and we'll run our Fredit list. So it's done that, and let's see what it's produced. Let's make it a bit smaller. So we go down, and so there's the purple one, the yellow one, there's the other yellow one, there's the one with the font colour change, turquoise, those two there. So you can see which the sentences are in context with the rest where the duplication has occurred. Okay, that's it. So I hope you found that useful. Bye for now.